You've been a blood angel for 300 years. You've fought orcs, tyrannids, heretics in systems whose names you forgot centuries ago. You've buried brothers, burned others, but the thing that's going to kill you isn't a Xenos blade or a traitor's bolt round, it's your own blood. And honestly, that's the most blood angel way to go. Bal Secundus. Nuclear wasteland. Your sun didn't warm you, it poisoned. Radiation so thick your tribe measured life in rad counter click. Average lifespan 30 years. Your father was a scavenger, good with a rifle, better with silence. Your mother kept the water filters, which made her the most important person settled. She knew it. You had a sister, 4 years younger. She followed you everywhere, tripped over rocks trying to keep up. You told her to stop. She didn't. You'd kill to hear those footsteps now. At 14, the Blood Angels came recruiting. 3 giants in crimson armor walked through your settlement like gods visiting a parking lot. Your mother said nothing when you volunteered. Your father handed you his knife. Your sister grabbed your wrist and asked where you were going. You said you'd be back soon. You never went back. 200 aspirants. Knife, canteen, compass bearing. 3 days in the deep waste. Reach angels fall or die. Fire scorpions the size of dogs hunted at night. Rad storms rolled in like they had personal grudges. On day 2, you found a boy dying behind a rock, maybe 13, shaking so bad his teeth were clicking. You gave him your water, carried him 6 hours until he could walk. His name was Tilo. He called you brother after that, not because you earned it, because you were the first person who didn't step over him. 53 made it. Then the vigil. 72 hours standing in the Great Hall. No sleep, no food, no sitting. Hour 40, Telos started swaying. You grabbed his arm, held him upright for 32 hours while your own legs were busy filing a formal complaint. Then the cup, the red grail, golden chalice. Blood preserved for 10,000 years. Sanguinius's blood. Your Primarch, the angel. You drank. It tasted like iron and lightning and something that was definitely judging you, something that found the anger in you and whispered, I can work with this. You dreamed for a year inside a golden sarcophagus, not your dreams, his. You saw throne room burning, wings across a battlefield, a beautiful face cracking a brother's spine, spent a year in a box dreaming about a dead god, and all you got was bigger muscles and an urge to bite your sergeant's neck. Somewhere in those dreams, something cracked inside you too, a crack you wouldn't notice for centuries. You woke up different, faster, stronger, could hear Telos breathing 3 rooms away, smell rust on pipes behind the walls. A sanguinary priest said your gene seed bonded harder than normal. Report any unusual hunger, he said. You nodded. You didn't mention that your mouth watered when he walked past, that the cut on his hand smelled like dinner. 10th Company, scouts, you and Telos rose together. He was loud where you were quiet. Optimistic where you saw Matt. He dragged you to the art halls between combat drills, said blood angels create beauty to counter the violent. You thought that was the dumbest thing you'd heard since the Desert Builds character. Then you picked up a brush and painted your sister reaching for your wrist. It quieted something in your head you didn't know was screaming. Telos was right. You never told him that. First real deployment. Orcs on an agri-world. Telos charged forward, killed 4 before his flamer clicked empty. 2 more flanked him. You put yourself between him and the closest one. Killed it. Orc blood sprayed everywhere. Some of it got in your mouth, and something inside you sat up and paid attention. Warmth from your throat to your hand. Vision sharpened. Time got slow and polite. You killed the 2nd orc with your bare hands and didn't remember deciding to. The sanguinary priest explained it after. The red genetic flaw from Sanguinius himself. 10,000 years and nobody's fixed it. A craving for blood that triggers enhanced strength, speed, aggression. Sounds useful until you realize each time you give in, it gets louder. Feed it enough and the black rage follows. That's the real nightmare. Brothers who fall to the rage relive Sanguinius's death on loop. They think they're fighting Horus. They don't recognize friends. Don't follow orders. Just kill until something bigger kills them. Then it's black armor, Red Cross's death company. One last charge into whatever's worse. He assigned you monitoring. Blood rations that tasted like someone described food to a machine. Daily rituals. You followed every protocol. You were also lying to everyone. The hunger woke you at night. Cold water, meditation, catechisms, until the words became static, and the static drowned out the wanting. It worked. For decades, it worked. 50 years in, Telos asked if the thirst was getting worse. You said no. He looked at you the way he looked at an unfinished painting, like he could see exactly which lines you were hiding. 100 years. Campaigns blurred together. Armageddon, Kryptos, Baal itself when Hive Fleet Leviathan came to prove that even angels can be digested. You fought Hormagaunts in corridors corridors where you learned to paint. One night, a Tyranid warrior pinned a scout. Kid maybe 16. You killed the warrior in 13 seconds. The scout was bleeding out. Neck wound. Arterial. You knelt to apply pressure. Blood everywhere. Warm. On your hand. Your armor. Pooling under your knees. The thirst didn't whisper this time. It screamed. You held his neck while your body begged you to press your mouth to the wound instead. Hands shaking. Teeth aching. The kid looking up at you with trust. You saved him. Barely. Then found an empty chamber and punched the wall until your gauntlets cracked. Your blood, not his. That distinction mattered more than anything else that day. 200 years you stopped painting. Colors looked duller, like the universe had lowered its setting. Your emotional range had been narrowing for decades. Joy went first, then sadness, then everything except hunger and duty. Those two sat where you used to be. Telos put a brush in your hand once. You stared at a blank canvas for an hour. The part of you that wanted to create was the same part the thirst had been chewing on for 2 centuries, 250 years. New recruits from Baal Secundus. You don't attend initiations anymore, but something pulls you this time. You stand in the back watching 50 aspirants line up for the Red Grail. One catches your eye, sharp jaw, dark eyes, too old for 14. He stands slightly angled, weight on his back foot, defensive, watchful, like someone taught him to always be ready to run. Your father stood like that. You pull his file, his tribe, his bloodline. He's your sister's blood. 10 generations later, but the jaw is hers. The stubbornness in those eyes is hers, and one of her descendants just drank from the cup that ruined your life. His name is Aster. You should walk away. Instead, you request assignment to 10th Company as training instructor.
Nobody questioned 250-year vet wanting trade gap. No self. You are being neither of those things. You're being pulled by something that scares you more than the thirst. Feeling faint, like remembering a smell. It scares you because the thirst feeds on feeling.
And you just opened a door you spent 200 years welding shut. Aster survives the sarcophagus. You train him like the other. No favoritism. He's good, fast, fights like your father, patient, waits for the opening, and then commits completely. 3 months in, he asks if you paint. You say you used to. He leaves a painting outside your quarters the next week. Red desert under 2 suns. Small figure walking toward a light on the horizon. It's crude, barely controlled. It's the most beautiful thing you've seen in a century. Your chest does something it hasn't done in decades. It hurts. Not the thirst kind, the human kind, the kind you forgot you could feel. That night, the thirst hits harder than it has in 50 years. You drain 3 blood rash. Standard is 1. Somewhere, a sanguinary priest's data slate ping. You start avoiding Aster outside training. Keep it tactical. He notices. Kid always notice. Asks another sergeant if he did something wrong. You watch him on the security feeds, training alone at night, hitting the practice dummy until his knuckles bleed through the wrap. Your father processed grief the same way. Through his hand, deployment comes. Chaos cultists on a shrine world. You and Telos lead a combined force. Aster's squad takes the lower gallery. Clean sweep. Then the floor collapses. Cultists rigged demolition charges. 4 scouts fall through into catacombs beneath the cathedral. Aster is one of them. You drop through the hole before Telos finishes giving the order. Find 2 scouts dead, crushed. A third points deeper into the dark. Aster went chasing a cultist. You find them in a burial chamber. Cultist dead on the floor, throat cut, clean work. Aster standing over the body, blood on his knife, blood on his lips. He's looking at his own hands like they belong to someone else. He tasted it, and the thirst just introduced itself to your sister's bloodline. You should report this. Let the priests handle it with their rituals and rations and monitoring. That's the system that's kept you alive for 3 centuries. Instead, you kneel next to him and tell him the truth. Not the chaplain's speech about noble burden, the real version, the one where you wake up wanting to drink from the brother in the next bunk, where every wound on a battlefield smells like a meal, where the lock gets weaker every year and you're too afraid to check what's behind it anymore. He asks one question. Does it get better? You look at this kid with your father's stance and your sister's jaw. You've been lying for 300 years. To priests, to Telos, to yourself. No. It doesn't get better. You just get better at carrying it. Back on Baal, Aster visits your quarters, brings paintings, asks about the old world, your family, his family. You tell him about your sister, how she grabbed your wrist, how you lied. He tells you she lived to 38. Long life for Baal Secundus. She told her children stories about a brother who went to the sky and became an angel. She never stopped looking up. Corbulo runs your tests. The old sanguinary priest doesn't sugarcoat it. Your genetic markers jump, not gradually. The emotional reconnection triggered a cascade in the gene seed. The thirst is feeding on the feeling, using it as fuel. The more human you become, the faster it eats you. Choice. Cut contact with Asta. Starve the thirst back to baseline. Or keep going and face what's coming. Black armor, red crosses, the end of the line. You choose to cut contact. You last 9 days. Emergency mobilization. Tyranid splinter fleet near Bal. Every company. Every brother. Asta's scout squad attached to your section because someone thought that was tactically sound. They didn't check your medical file. Dawn. Hormagaunts pouring through the dust like a living flood. Asta's squad 300 meters forward, feeding targeting data. A Tyranid warrior breaks through the perimeter. 2 scouts go down.
Asta fire. Hits it twice. It doesn't slow. Rifle clicks M. Combat knife out. Weight on his back foot. There is no open. Tyranid warrior with a combat. You run 300 meters. Broken ground. The thirst erupts. All of it. 3 centuries of managed hunger crashing through every wall you built.
You hit the warrior so hard its chitin cracks from shoulder to spine. Scything talons score your chest. You don't feel it. You plunge your hands into chitinous flesh and feel the heat of Xeno's ichor. For one terrible second, it's not disgust. It's satisfaction. It dies. You're standing over it, breathing like a furnace, and Asta's on the ground.
Shoulder wound, bleeding, looking up at you. And he sees it. The thing you've been hiding for 300 years, standing right there in the open, covered in Xeno's blood, shaking with hunger. You step toward him, not to help. Your body is moving without your permission. Asta reaches, puts his hand on the wound.
His blood and yours mixing on red ceramite. He says one word. Brother. Your fingers tighten on his arm. You feel blood pumping under his skin, teeth aching. 300 years of hunger hitting you at once. You throw yourself backward into the swarm. No weapon, no plan, just the certainty that one more second near him and you'll drink. And if you start, you won't stop. The Tyranids are happy to help. They take your leg, open your side. You kill 9 before a warrior pins you to the dirt. Telos arrives with a relief force, pulls you out. You grab his collar. Get him away from me. Telos looks at Asta running toward you. Understands instantly, because Telos always saw the lines you tried to hide. He redirects the squad. Asta goes. You watch him disappear into the dust. Apothecarian, new leg, sealed abdomen. Corbulo visits, doesn't sit down. Your markers cross the threshold. The black rage will come. Not if, when. Tower of the Lost or Death Company. Rot in a cell or die charging. Death Company, obviously. But first, you find Asta in the art hall. He's painting. You stop in the doorway. He's painting a small figure on a red desert, reaching for something in the sky. Your sister, from stories passed down 10 generations. He doesn't know you painted the same thing 280 years ago, that your version is 3 floors down in a storage vault, cracked and faded. You sit next to him. The thirst roars. You tell him everything, your sister, the wrist, the lie, 300 years, what he is to you, what you almost did on that battlefield. He listens, his jaw tightens, his eyes go wet, but nothing falls. Blood angels aren't supposed to cry. The gene seed didn't take your tears, though. You just forgot how to use them. He asks why you never told him, because telling you meant feeling something, and feeling is what woke it up. He reaches for your wrist, your sister's gesture. 10 generations and it survived. He holds on. The thirst screams. You let him hold on for 3 seconds. Then you stand, walk out, don't look back. 2 weeks later, black armor, red crosses, the only uniform left for those who still feel too much. The chaplain paints the crosses himself, recites the lament of Sanguinius. Around you, brothers already gone, screaming Horus at walls, fighting enemies that died 10,000 years ago. You leave a package outside Asta's quarters. Your old painting, the sister, the reaching wrist. On the back, one line, you were worth every year. The drop ramp opens. The rage starts pulling. The battlefield flickers. For a moment, you see golden walls instead of mud, burning spires, a throne room. Around you, brothers are screaming Horus, charging at shadows. The rage wants you to join them, wants you to see the War Master, wants you to be Sanguinius one last time. But underneath all of it, the last real image your mind holds on to isn't Horus, isn't Sanguinius, isn't 10,000 years of inherited trauma. It's a 4-year-old girl grabbing your wrist, asking where you're going. You lied then. This time you whisper the truth. I'm going to protect you. You charge. The rage takes everything else.